I was live on the air when the governor's first tweet went out basically announcing that this had happened. And at first, we didn't really know what that meant. I was on the set, I was anchoring, as I said, and so I immediately sent a note to our assignment editor and said, check into this, let's see what this is. And finished anchoring the rest of that segment of the newscast. During the commercial break, came out, checked in, we'd gotten a little more information. We'd confirmed that yes, this came from the governor's office and it is a do not use order.
Well, one thing I do remember about it is that I was over at the state capitol earlier that day. We'd had another freelance reporter was coming into work for us to cover the legislative session. Of course, the State of the State from Governor Tomlin was just, I believe it was the day before, actually. So I was over at the Capitol, and I remember coming back and smelling something in the air, but not really thinking anything of it. I think that, at that point, no one had any clue. Surprising enough, the instinct didn't kick in for everyone in that area immediately, but I remember coming back to the station, and a few hours later we found out, and then West Virginia American Water, and the governor's office issued the do not use notice, or the ban on using using the water for anything except to flush the toilet or put out fires.
What we saw from that chemical spill is that when we don't have water, it creates a serious, serious situation. We have to be protective of that water. I mean, we have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here.
When we were doing Streamlab and looking at the centers and sort of educating ourselves within the class, our original impetus for that was the chemical spill in Charleston, but it was like opening up a Pandora's box of issues about water, not just in our state, but nationwide, and realizing the sort of precariousness of water quality and the security of water quality.
We learned through this process that there really hadn't been an oversight process for above ground storage facilities in West Virginia. The tank bill, which turned into a law, is a step in the right direction to ensuring that there is proper oversight and continued maintenance of those facilities that hopefully will keep something like this from happening again.
Elk River is a water source for that area because it's so clean.
In short, it was a mess. It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water, but that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy for a little bit.
Yeah, it was extremely bizarre. I think that one of the things that makes a story like this particularly unique is that oftentimes whenever you're reporting something happens and you go there or you make phone calls and are interacting with the situation but not necessarily involved. With this, anyone that lived in Charleston or the 9 counties that were affected were directly involved, including all the media. So I think that, unless it would be a situation like a journalist had a family member involved in a news story or a friend or another colleague, you're not really affected by the piece itself as far as the incident happening.
This was not handled well, in my opinion, at multiple levels. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact we were in uncharted territory. Some of it, I think, of our own making, some of it not. This was a chemical that we knew about and had been a part of the coal industry and the cleaning process for a number of years, but had not been studied.
So there's a lesson in that, that the less we protect, the more dependent we become on a very, very scarce resource, and the more vulnerable we are to spills like this.